Hello, welcome to the California Department of Education Quality Professional Learning at a Distance module. My name is Joy Kessel, and I'm here with my colleague Diane Crum from the Educator Excellence and Equity Division at the California Department of Education, or CDE. The objective of this module is to support local educational agencies, or LEAs, with remote professional learning, or PL, in response to the coronavirus pandemic by providing quality professional learning at a distance guidance and remote professional learning examples from California LEAs. All of the resources that are mentioned in this module are available on the CDE Quality Professional Learning at a Distance webpage at www.cde.ca.gov/pd/ps/distancepl.asp. You can find the slides for the module posted on the webpage now. Many viewers of this module are likely familiar with the state's Quality Professional Learning Standards, or QPLS, which we will use to frame the guidance we are providing. These standards were developed by a group of educators from across the state in order to fulfill the Educator Excellence Task Force recommendations published in the report Greatness by Design, Supporting Outstanding Teaching to Sustain a Golden State. They were approved by the State Superintendent of Public Instruction in 2013 and approved by the State Board of Education in May 2015. The QPLS put forward the characteristics of professional learning that are most likely to support educators in building individual and collective capacity to meet professional, school, and student performance expectations. The standards address the importance of data, content and pedagogy, equity, design and structure, collaboration and shared accountability, resources, and alignment and coherence. Let's start with equity with my colleague, Diane Crum.
Equity has been a huge area of concern with the transition to distance learning. While lots of federal, state, and local officials are working to support equitable distance learning, there are some things to consider when thinking about designing remote professional learning to ensure equitable outcomes. Equity has been a major concern for schools across the nation and the world as we all ask ourselves, how do we ensure that all students have access to quality curriculum and instruction? While we try not to favor one QPLS over the other, we start this module with equity because we know the pandemic has exacerbated the inequities that may have already existed in education. Quality professional learning, even in remote settings, and especially in response to the pandemic, should be designed to ensure equitable outcomes. Data that is used to inform remote professional learning should be disaggregated by student groups in order to identify the most critical student needs, and remote professional learning should improve educator understanding of the cultural, intellectual, social, emotional, and physical needs of each learner during this unprecedented time. Access to remote PL should be equitable by ensuring all educators have the resources to participate fully. We encourage schools and districts to review the equity and access chapters of the California Curriculum Frameworks for Guidance, as well as the California Departments of Education's Asset-Based Pedagogies webpage and the Distance Learning Guidance webpage. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, Emotional Learning, or CASEL resources will also be helpful to support equitable outcomes in remote professional learning. All of the resources we are mentioning are linked to on our Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. Another challenge for a transition to remote professional learning is ensuring that it is designed and structured to be ongoing, intensive, and embedded in practice. The purpose and focus of remote professional learning should be cleared and agreed upon. Remote professional learning should be systematized and differentiated to include opportunities for teachers to analyze their own practice and apply new learning. Scheduling of professional learning events should be convenient for teachers and recorded for those who cannot participate. Online professional learning sessions are facilitated with great care with expertise in the platform and features. Clear and timely communication with participants, structures that support the effective flow of the session, and anticipation of challenges. There's a great article about this from Learning Forward that you can find linked on our webpage. Remote professional learning events provide opportunities to engage with content and peers in a variety of ways to promote active engagement, such as frequent discussion or question breaks, polling, breakout rooms, back channel chats, and engagement with open content such as digital whiteboards. Some resources that can provide ideas for effective remote professional learning design and structure include Learning Forward, the U.S. Department of Education's Future Ready Schools, the California Department of Education's Professional Learning Stories, Improvement Science, and Continuous Improvement. As with any learning system, quality professional learning is rooted in student and educator needs demonstrated through data. There are several ways and perhaps benefits for collecting and analyzing data to support quality remote professional learning. We encourage schools and districts to collect and analyze data from early efforts to transition to distance learning, or DL, regarding what worked well and what needs improvement. In addition to academic and instructional data, data regarding social emotional learning, SEL, wellness, and communication for students, families, and educators is also important. Data should be gathered and analyzed regarding remote professional learning events and instructional supports, and data supports should be readily available to teachers. Some ideas to consider for useful data sources are the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments, the California Healthy Kids Survey, or CHKS, and the CHKS Learning from Home Survey. Again, links to these resources can be found on our Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. The next QPLS standard to discuss is Content and Pedagogy, which should be the focus of quality professional learning now more than ever as teachers grapple with the continuity of learning for their students and what this looks like in distance learning settings. Our advice is that administrators and teachers build a shared understanding of what quality distance learning looks like and what the system needs in order to achieve it. Logic models can be helpful for designing the path forward. Instructional leaders support teachers in building confidence in the distance learning environment by providing opportunities to learn and experiment with tools and resources. Remote professional learning sessions are also facilitated with adult social emotional learning in mind. Useful resources to support a focus on content and pedagogy include the California Department of Education's Distance Learning Guidance, California Curriculum Frameworks, Learning Forward, and the National Standards for Quality Online Learning, or NSQOL. One of the QPLS that is particularly pertinent these days is collaboration and shared accountability. It gets at our need for social interaction with our peers and our need for a shared sense of purpose. As we are learning both in our professional and private lives, there are ways to keep this going. Remote professional learning should address the strain of isolation by providing opportunities for video conferencing, digital environments for educators to stay in touch with each other, and ensuring teachers have agency in determining the focus of professional learning. Community of practice models continue in remote professional learning with digital tools to try new approaches and share results with colleagues, common planning, peer observation, and receiving support. Collaboration extends beyond school and district boundaries as all educators learn and grow in this new context. I'm sure many of you have been using all kinds of tools and resources over the last 7 months to continue to collaborate with peers and keep each other accountable. Some resources we think could support this work include Learning Forward, continuous improvement resources, and instructional leadership resources. And you can find these links on the Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. Now, I will turn it over to my colleague Joy Kessel, who will talk about the last two elements of the QPLS and provide a recap.
Resourcing professional learning is a challenge many of us are experiencing right now. Quality remote professional learning is supported by adequate resources, which includes funding, but also addresses time, materials, and human capital. It is important to ensure all educators have the necessary resources and equipment to access remote professional learning. Districts and schools should leverage funding flexibilities and opportunities provided in response to the pandemic. Leaders should identify and make use of local expertise and experience to support professional learning. We also recommend using strategic planning to focus resources on immediate needs without losing perspective on long-term growth. You will find a link to current federal and state funding guidance on our webpage, and the Labor Management Initiative is also a helpful resource in terms of collective bargaining. The final QPLS to discuss is alignment and coherence. How do we ensure that remote professional learning is coherent and aligned with other standards, policies, and programs? Federal and state requirements and expectations have been changing to support schools and districts during this time. Familiarity and monitoring of these changes can help to focus on immediate professional learning needs and priorities and align local policy structures and practices. Continue to use and adapt as much as possible current curriculum, learning management systems, and professional learning structures to maintain continuity. We encourage California educators to check the department's COVID-19 webpage regularly for the latest information and guidance on federal and state policy and program changes. But regardless of these changes in response to COVID-19, the California Curriculum Frameworks and other guidance documents, such as the English Learner Roadmap, can be useful resources for designing aligned and coherent remote professional learning. That was a lot of information about quality remote professional learning. For a quick recap, here are the important points. High quality remote professional learning is designed to ensure equitable outcomes, designed and structured to be ongoing, intensive, and embedded in practice, rooted in student and educator needs demonstrated through data, focused on content and pedagogy, collaborative with an emphasis on shared accountability, supported by adequate resources, and coherent and aligned with other standards, policies, and programs. At this point in the module, we want to give you a chance to reflect on the information provided so far. Feel free to pause the video and consider these questions. What is the status of remote professional learning in your school or district? Are there few, some, or many opportunities being provided? After hearing about the QPLS, which of the standards do you think is most challenging for remote professional learning? And just so we can highlight some silver linings, please think about what might be some potential benefits of remote professional learning. Thank you for pausing. As part of this module, 2 districts have shared with us their remote professional learning stories in response to the pandemic. We are grateful to be able to share the work of Glendale Unified School District and Long Beach Unified School District. You can find these videos on our Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. We all know the value of sharing among colleagues who are addressing the same questions and concerns, so we will continue to share learning tips and advice from California schools and districts. Here are some action steps you can take based on what was discussed in this module. We recommend reviewing the CDE Quality Professional Learning at a Distance webpage at www.cde.ca.gov/pd/ps/distancepl.asp for detailed guidance and resources on this topic, including the LEA Remote Professional Learning Stories. It is also important as we move more professional learning online that we continue to leverage best practices in equity, design and structure, data, content and pedagogy, collaboration and shared accountability, resources, and alignment and coherence. Our division shares a lot of information regarding professional learning. You'll find links to these resources on the CDE Quality Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. We encourage you to join the Professional Learning News listserv by sending a blank email message to join-professional-news@mlist.cde.ca.gov. You can follow us on Twitter at CAPROF Learning. The CDE team thanks you again for reviewing this module. These slides are available on the CDE Quality Professional Learning at a Distance webpage. Please be safe and well.